Sabah everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today I have for you a throwback all the way to November of 2010. That's specifically when this device came out. This is the Mytouch 4G made by HTC specifically for T-Mobile here in the US. And this device has a lot of interesting specifications for when it was released. It has Froyo as an initial release, and they gave us an upgrade to 2.3, which was gingerbread back then. If you're not familiar with these desserts, well, this is what Google was into back in 2010 and 2011. So let's not waste any of your time. I want to say thank you very much to Erica for allowing me to be part of this challenge, for using my old device and actually challenging me to be able to see, can this thing actually handle things as a daily driver in 2018. So let's not waste any time and let's talk about the Mytouch 4G on T-Mobile. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is my bad installation of a screen replacement. Originally back in the day, the reason I stopped using this device was because I shattered the screen and I moved on to another device. But I wanted to fix it. I want to make sure that the device worked. So I did replace the screen. Unfortunately, not the best job, but it still works. All responsiveness is pretty good. Let's go ahead and turn on the screen one more time. I do have CM7 installed on this. This is running Android 2.3 Gingerbread, upgraded from Android 2.0. We have a 5 megapixel sensor in the back capable of 720p 30 frames per second image video, as well as 5 megapixel images, single LED flash, speaker, and this was actually made, as I said to you guys, by HTC for T-Mobile specifically. So you could not get the Mytouch 4G, not the slide, on any other carrier. The actual backing here is metal. And then we have a battery here that's 1700 milliamps. This is the extended battery. The stock battery, I think, was around 1450 milliamps. We had an SD card support of up to 32 gigs, a full-size SIM, which was also a challenge for me to try to figure out how to get this to run. But, you know, overall, I think it's a very nice, well-constructed device. We have a camera, a dedicated camera button here on the right side. On the left side, you have the volume rocker, a dock there was actually a dock for this to put it as like a desk stand, and it turned into a special mode whenever you used it. We do have a micro USB charger here on the left side, and that's how we charged and data connected our device. On the top, power button and 3.5mm headphone jack. Yes, old school headphone jack. And of course, a microphone on the bottom for our audio. On the front end, we have an earpiece that kind of looks like a speaker, but it's an earpiece. A front-facing VGA camera. When I say VGA, that's exactly what I mean. VGA, 3.8 inch, basically 480 by 800 as far as the resolution. And we do also have buttons. Yes, buttons for home, menu, back, and the Google search functionality. And then we also have a little bit of like a slider, mouse pad, and I'll explain to you guys how this works. So using this device as a daily driver for a few days was definitely a challenge. And I say this because from a form factor, let me just explain a little bit here. We are talking 6.2 inches to 3.8 inches. Very big difference in screen. Obviously Quad HD, much better specs. But I found it to be a really nice, kind of like an interesting experiment to try to use this as a daily driver, and I did. So I got an adapter for my SIM card, I put it in, I booted it up, and I had to re-authenticate my device information, all of that. The battery did charge, and it does charge to 100%. Unfortunately, it drains pretty fast, and that's due to the fact that the device, for some reason or another, can't get 4G. But I think it has something to do with the radio, and I can fix that in software. Unlocking it is pretty simple. You just swipe to the right. This is an ADW launcher built into CM7. So this is how it was delivered back then. And we have some customizations that were installed. I liked that everything was pretty much similar to the style that I like it today. I like a custom launcher. We have functionality. We have pinch to zoom if we use it, and you can pinch it. That's one of the older ones. Dialing, sending and receiving text messages, MMS messages, everything was fine. Gmail was fine. The browser obviously wasn't Chrome, but you're able to download that. The Play Store was installed. I was able to install Twitter and use Twitter, and worked pretty nice. And the reason I want to share this with you guys right now is because this is interesting. Apparently, if you have a 2.3 version Android on your device right now and you install Twitter, you will get the star system back. I don't know if you're familiar with the star system, but back in the day when Twitter, before Twitter went into hearting everything, so it's loading right now, one of the main benefits was the ability to be actually able to star. Now, mind you, I will actually click on the star, the other person will receive a heart, and that's how it shows up. So you notice right there, it's loading. Not the fastest device, but believe me, I went to CM7 because it got a lot slower when it was running HTC Sense back in the day. Definitely very nice, and again, the camera works really nice.
So trying out the front-facing camera here, it's well, it's supposed to be like just VGA front-facing camera. It was one of the first front-facing cameras put on a device at the time, and it was supposed to be good enough to do video conferencing. So that was one of the slogans for the Mytouch 4G, that you can actually use video or FaceTime kind of technology from a mobile phone at anywhere using T-Mobile's network.
This was an image with my son and I. We were at the grocery store walking around. I took a couple of pictures there, and we took a selfie. Colors are not the best, but again, I like the fact that, you know, this thing still works. I couldn't get Instagram to run on it. Every time I install Instagram, it keeps crashing. And as far as YouTube and watching videos, it was actually pretty decent. You just need to, well, let's go ahead and go back home, go back into the and then let's go ahead and open up YouTube. And again, you have to remember that this is not running the latest software. So actually the menu on YouTube is on the left side. So let's go ahead and click it on the top. You'll notice here there's subscription, upload history. So I'll go down into subscription, and then we'll see here is one of my other videos that I just released on the other channel. Actually, this is on this channel. I'm not sure why I said the other channel, but I'll give it a second to load. And you can see the picture is pretty clear, pretty good. The audio, again, is a back-facing speaker, so that's about the only thing. So you have to kind of cup it a little bit. But other than that, I think it's pretty good. It worked pretty nice. I'm not going to say this is a bad experience. For a device that was released in October, November of 2010, this is really good, because in 2018 it's still able to function. This is definitely a good backup phone. I think, you know, obviously it works on T-Mobile. I'm able to pick up the radios. It's still SIM locked to T-Mobile, even though I have it rooted and I have CM installed on it. Your notification panel on the top only had 4 triggers. Obviously now GPS still works, Bluetooth works, speaker works. But we had these buttons at the bottom. So to be able to get the settings, I had to hit the menu and then go into settings. And this is the system settings, as opposed to where if I hit this, I can actually get into also more options, which will get me into the wallpaper and the lock screen. And let's go back one more time. And then manage applications here. Editing here is the home screens. And we'll go back. And last but not least, we have the search. And of course, we can add additional functions. The back button works the same as you'd expected. The green button, if you press and hold, enables voice search. So this is the voice search of back in the day. And then pressing it once opens up Google. And there's obviously no Google now on tap. There's no assistant here. Everything is basically what it is. The little jog dial here works beautifully. You're able to scroll through pictures in this. You're able to basically interface with applications. And of course, open them up. The Play Store works. This is definitely a lot of fun. All the customizations that I had out of CM and all the things I loved having within CM was very much still here. You can go in there, customize the toolbar, the colors, the scheme, the theme, the performance profile, the system profile, tablet tweaks, all of that. And then of course, customizing ADW launcher is exactly in here. It was a lot of fun using this device as a daily driver. And I say fun in the sense of a nostalgic effect. I actually enjoyed using this. I enjoyed trying to basically work with what the system back in 2.3 or 2.2 version of Android did or provided us as a feature. CM running on this was definitely a big upgrade from when I had it from the original UI. HTC Sense or HTC UI back then was really nice, but it slowed down tremendously within a month or two after using it. And for me, when I was able to switch over, it took out a lot of the extra stuff and it ran pretty good. I was able to get really good signal, and I'm not sure why I'm not able to get 4G on this, but I think it has something to do with the radio. And I need to find the original radios for this. I think once I flash those over there, it should be pretty good. I have a custom recovery twerp installed. I have CM, as I mentioned to you guys. We have root. I have titanium backup installed. This is back in the day where that's all we had. We didn't have exposed, so custom ROMs were really it, and CM was very big. And CM7 had nightly builds, and I was flashing them on a daily basis. So a lot of fun to use these things, and definitely very nice in this small form factor. It's definitely not going to be a daily driver for me, unfortunately, in 2018. It's definitely something that I could try to check out and use every once in a while. And it's a great backup phone if for any reason I do need to take in my main device and I need to basically have it there. So thank you to Erica for challenging us to be able to try to use our old device. And for me, this was a lot of fun. And it was actually very interesting to have a phone in my pocket that when I put it in my pocket, it disappeared. It doesn't show up. Nobody can see that I have a phone in there because it was very small. So like and subscribe as usual. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll give you guys the link in the description below to the playlist that has some of the other content creators that are joining us here. Definitely Erica and Juan Carlos Bagnell, which is going to be very interesting because he's using a Windows mobile device, which is even older than mine. So again, like and subscribe. Thank you very much for the support. I'll see you guys in the next video.